Okay, the problem I'm having with this thing is easier to show if I make a movie. Basically what's happened is this is some 3mm thick stuff, and it started cutting and then it just skips right over the metal. Won't cut it, as you can see right there. Here's a piece of 3mm that it managed to make it almost all the way through, then it skipped over it, and then I did another cut and it just skipped right over it and it won't cut through it. This is some 2mm. I mean, you can see the stuff is not that thick, okay? And it won't even cut that, okay? Now, I understand completely that this blade is supposed to go over that blade. I totally understand that, and I know that because I watched the Bailey video for how to set this thing up. This thing didn't have any instructions to tell you anything about how to set it up. I know that this blade's supposed to go over that one, and I'm going to show you that now that things are screwed up, there's no way to get the lower blade to actually go over the upper blade. I know this is blade angle. Problem is, once I get the blade angle set up and then I send it up, you can see that the blades just touch. I'm going to try to move the blade a little more out as far as it'll go. There you go. And it just barely over. You can see where it used to overlap. See that? But I can't get it to do that anymore. When I turn this thing, I understand perfectly well how this works. That I'm changing the angle. I totally get that. So you got to get the furthest out angle, tip it up with your hand, and you can see that it just barely overlaps, whereas it used to overlap quite a bit. You see that line where it used to overlap? Well, it doesn't overlap there anymore. And what happens is, I try to cut the metal when this is really tight, and it literally skips and looks like this, not like that, but like it looks like this when I'm done, where the lower blade is actually behind the upper blade. And then you see how there's these teeth there? Well, check it out on the lower blade. In some places, well, here it comes. The teeth marks have actually been ground into the lower blade because the blade keeps going boom and slipping back when I try to cut metal that's 3mm thick, which is what this thing's supposed to be able to do. So every time I would stop, loosen things up, set this up like this, knowing exactly how this angle thing works, and then raise it up using this guy to get it up there so I have contact. Each time I've tried to run some metal through there, the amount of overlap that I'm getting on these blades is less and less and less, and I can't set it up and use it anymore.